Alright, I think we're up. Think we're up. Ready? Cool. Alright, we're up. Ready to go. Alright. Alright, so we're ready. Cool. Alright. Well, welcome back to more another week of podcasts. Sorry I missed last week. Just was busy last Friday. But I'm back this week with another podcast. Got quite a bit more to talk about, so kind of the break was needed. Got some more to talk about. Um well, think over the yeah, we've alright, I will just get into it. Um let's see. I've beat what happened over the last 2 weeks? Me and my girlfriend beat Raincode, so that was nice. And we learned that there was like DLC added for it. Which is I don't think we're gonna play through that because it kind of seems like not really worth it. Um, but we finished Raincode and the ending was kind of really great. It surprised us at just kind of a really good twist. Like, it's not the main twist, but it's still kind of like a minor twist that ended up happening. That was really cool. So, if you want to check out Raincode, um, definitely check it out. It's like, it was a pretty good. There was a few, like, downsides. There was a few, like, slow moments of the game. Like, see, I think it was chapter 3 that was, like, the slow one. Yeah, chapter 3 was just kind of slow, but after that, like, it picked up again. But, like, that's, like, it's a great game. What else happened? Went and saw the Barbie movie. Barbie movie was actually really, shocked me at what it was and how good it was, both at the same time. Like, it's just a really, like, I went into the movie thinking it was just going to be like a comedy, but then it was like, ended up just like being uh, like, uh, like, it ended up being like, also like, a commentary like movie that also like made you think. Um, I've heard some people call it like woke, but like honestly, like it's still a good movie, and I honestly, it was the movie is just basically about like sexism. Like Barbie and Ken go to the real world. Ken realizes that like men have actual like power in the real world, while Barbie learns that women have no power in the real world. Ken goes back to Barbie land and then starts a patriarchy where all the Kens rule, and it just like goes on from there. It's really funny, and they actually end up um they end up like actually they very much do understand like sexism in the movie. Cuz like it's not like they actually do properly understand it, which is something that like a lot of movies don't, and just like media in general don't seem to understand. Because, like, usually it's just thrown in a movie just to gain, like, viewership with, like, a certain group of people, because Hollywood forced it in there. But in this movie, they actually did it, like, um, absolutely, like, correct. Like, the whole point is that the Kens are supposed to be the minorities in Barbie Land because all the Barbies rule everything, so the Kens are supposed to be like the parallel to like the problem women face in the real world. It's supposed to be like that. Um, Ken, the Kens feel they're the minorities and stuff, and feel, but they play it up for laughs. It's still funny, and they also do have like proper like. It's actually like they play it like completely straight, and also like like show like actual like realistic understandings of it, and not just kind of like expect it to be fixed in a day like what most like media and stuff show is like they want like sexism to be fixed in like as soon as possible in like one or like, day. But like this movie like ends up showing like no, like you can't just fix sexism overnight. It's a problem that needs to be fixed like over time. It's not something that'll just be fixed in like one night. Like something that needs to be like worked on. Because normally I don't like movies about like that like try to force in like ideals and stuff, but this movie doesn't. You clearly can tell that like that's what the writers were going for, and it wasn't forced in, and that everyone involved like clearly understood like all the like ideals of like sexism and stuff. So props to them for making a movie that actually understands the topic instead of just half-assing it and just throwing it in there to get views from people. Good movie. Would recommend. Would recommend. Funny movie, and also makes you think. So that was fun watching the Barbie movie. Still haven't watched Oppenheimer, which I need probably gonna wait until it comes on digital to watch Oppenheimer. And then in other news, the Barbie after watching the Barbie movie, next movie that I'm gonna probably go to the theaters for with my friends is the FNAF movie, which I just learned that it's going to be like 3+ hours long, which is like, ugh. It's kind of it feels like it's gonna have the opposite problem of the Mario movie, where like FNAF movie's gonna be too long. Because the Mario movie like was too short, and the FNAF movie seems like it's gonna be too long. But we'll have to wait and see. Looking forward to watch that movie with my friends. Going to go talk about the Mario movie. Mario movie is great. Just great. Not like amazing, just great. There's no other way to like describe like my thoughts on the Mario movie. It's just a good movie to watch. Like, it's not like the best movie ever, a movie that like you could watch like multiple times. I could watch like multiple times in a row or something. It's just a good, great movie. Like that's like my thoughts on the movie is just that. Just that. It's just good. I think my biggest problem with the Mario movie is that it ends up playing too safe. Like, And I think that's a problem with just all Illumination movies, is that they're played too safe. Um, it just needed to take more risks. Um, but it's Illumination, and they're known for just making mostly just okay movies writing wise, and more focus. They have decent animation, but like more so just the writing is what suffers in most of their movies. And I think they should have taken a little bit more risks with the movie, because most of the movie is just very safe in terms of its like ideas and like execution and writing. But good, it's a good movie. Would recommend if you are a fan of Mario. Would not recommend if you're not a fan of Mario. Alright. Fire Emblem recently. I was going to talk about this last week, but got a little bit busy. But Fire Emblem Three Houses. As you can see over here, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Last Wednesday had its last Wednesday on July 26th had its, let's see, 4th anniversary. Let's see, 2019 to 2023. Yeah, 4th anniversary. The game's been out for 3 years and still one of my favorite games of all time, and it's like probably my most replayed Switch game. Like, hands down. I've played through it like what? I played through all 4 routes. I've played through it pretty much every year since its release. Like, and now I'm just sitting here and like watching my girlfriend play through her first like no new game plus maddening route of it. So that's nice. So I'm having fun with that. Honestly, just really great game. Yeah, I think it may be raining actually. Well, it's not raining here. I'm pretty sure. Oh, now it's pouring. Well, power should you might see the lights go off because the computer's on the battery backup. So if the power goes out, the internet and the computer are on a battery backup. So the stream will still continue going for like an hour after the power goes out. So the power does go out, well, I'll still be streaming. Anyway. But yeah. So Fire Emblem had its anniversary, and yeah, it's just a really good game. All the characters are extremely memorable, and I ended up like just falling in love with the game, and like it's just world building and everything. It's just a really good game, and even like the core gameplay is it's just a very refined like series. Three Houses is just like a very refined version of Fire Emblem. Oh, you can probably hear rain pour now even more. Actually, the mic's not picking it up, but um Engage is a bit more like refined, but like Engage has a lot of problems that I don't like about it. Engage's story is just very like generic feeling, and the writing is not as good. There's barely any world building. You just don't learn about the world of like Three Houses. But Engage compared to Three Houses, which is like they went for a different direction. They made the story very light while trying to focus on the gameplay of Three Houses a lot more. which will get the gameplay of Engage a lot more. Um, Engage, yeah, Engage's gameplay is actually really like probably the best Fire Emblem has been, hands down. It is probably the best like Fire Emblem has been. My only problem with it is that it feels like you get all these options, but it just feels really limiting on what you can do in Engage. Like, the whole, like, emblem rings are cool and all, but, like, to, like, gain some of these skills, you need, like, a ridiculous amount of points that you'll never be able to get in a playthrough. And there's not even, like, a New Game Plus mode, which is kind of like even people who like Engage like are baffled by that, because like that was something Three Houses added. It was a New Game Plus mode that like didn't like come into Engage. It would have been perfect for Engage. Like, give us a New Game Plus mode that lets you just goof around and just like mess with all of like the skills and stuff that would carry over. But like, no. Because you can barely get any of the skills in a playthrough of Engage. Like, it's just not worth it. And most of the time, like, you don't really need to, like, ever, like, focus on your unit, on, like, using the same units throughout the game. Like, the only unit you're gonna, like, really just use throughout the game is gonna be a Lear. And, like, you just kind of, like, what you do is just, like, you just kind of replace units as soon as, like, you get better ones. Like, obviously, like, all the lords are gonna be, like, really good units. All of the lords are, like, are your best units. Like, once you lose, like, the lords, then you kind of go into, like, the, servants of the lords, and then that's, like, it. Like, all the lords are the best units in the games, and in the game. There's customization with, like, who gets the emblem rings, but, like, the abilities you unlock with bonding with the emblem rings to then spend the points with, there's no way you're going to be able to, like, you maybe get to buy, like, you maybe get to buy, like, a few skills, but you don't get enough points. Engage is a very more tightly, like, strung game in terms of its, like, combat. You can see this in Maddening as well, with even stuff like how Maddening has fixed growth rates. So, like, it kind of takes away a little bit of, like, the fun of it if you play in Maddening, because, well, all the growth rates are fixed, so you're, like, you can't just get, like, RNG screwed, or, like, even just pop off and get, like, randomly a really good level up, because all the growth rates are fixed. And to even like, play Maddening without fixed growth rates, you have to beat Maddening with fixed growth rates, so, like, it's just silly. It's just kind of silly. It's like, not to mention, like, a lot of the characters just aren't written that well. There's some interesting designs for the characters. Like, the designs were really good, but the actual, like, written part of the characters just aren't that good. And then the supports in the game are also really short. You look at, like, Engage's supports, they all last, It's quantity over quality in Engage. Because any if a character has a support, it always goes to A. There's no like just C and B supports like there was in Three Houses, or even longer supports like C, C plus, B, A, A plus type like supports in Engage. It's always just three supports, no more, no less. So you get so all the supports are like a either like a minute long or shorter, and then that's it. So it's really just quantity over quality because none of the supports are that memorable. There, there's like maybe like one that I remember, and that's like Ivy and Alir's, where she's just like, "I love you," and it's just like out of nowhere, which is kind of funny. But then like, that's it. Um, so yeah, Engage is just all right. Well, I prefer Three Houses, just way better writing and characters and world building a lot more. Three Houses, its gameplay is still really good. Like, it may not be as good as Engages, but it's still good. Like, Three Houses has a lot of customization with your classes you can make. You can literally make any character, any class in the game, unless it's gender locked, which is kind of dumb, but um, Three Houses is, I'm pretty sure, still the best-selling Fire Emblem game, and actually, like, I think it's like the best-selling um, like tactic strategy game. Let's see here, something like that. Fire Emblem. I think it's. Let me see if I can find that post that I read. Let's go to here. Search. Nope. From. Search. Paper. Let's see here. If I can find it. Give me a second. I know it's in here somewhere. Sorry, give me 1 second. But yeah, like the game ended up selling a lot. Shoot. Where is it? It's gonna be in here, right? Let's just search. Search Fire Emblem. Yeah, here we go. Best-selling Fire Emblem game of all time and best-selling strategy RPG is what it is. Fire Emblem, yeah, it's like 4+ million units sold for Three Houses, and it's best-selling Fire Emblem game and the best-selling strategy RPG of all time. Like, yeah, like, honestly, really good game. I think another problem with Engage is that it's more so like an anniversary game, because it's also like really like a lot of it relies on just like knowing a bunch of like of the hold on, drop something, but you also need to rely on your knowledge. Like, it's not required, but it kind of is like a big fan service letter to fans of the entire series, and kind of tries, it doesn't really like land on its own. I mean, it just kind of like expects you to know like all these characters. I mean, even some characters are from Genealogy of the Holy War, which hasn't even been released here in the States, or even just in the West in general. So like, how are you supposed to know these characters if the game itself hasn't even been released like officially in like the West? So like, Japan may like Japan will love like the will love it, but like for all these characters that are references to a game that hasn't even been released over here in the West makes it hard for Western fans to enjoy that character as much as uh, ja- Japanese players. So Three Houses, Three Houses gameplay is great, and you can like break it because there's so much customization. You can easily break it. Um, and the Divine Pulse you can just also kind of break. You get like quite a lot of Divine Pulses, but like in Engage you get infinite like rewind turns, unless you're playing on Maddening. Honestly, I even when Engage was announced, I knew it would not replace Three Houses for me. It just wouldn't. We got a lot out of Three Houses, though. We even got a spin-off game called a spin-off Warriors game called Three Hopes. So, honestly, I'm grateful we even got that. So, good for Three Houses popping off as much as it did. It it did a lot. But honestly, I would it's also much easier for people to just get into than Engage, because in my personal experience, Three Houses is kind of also popped off more for the casuals than it did with than Engage did, because like the casuals like it did a lot. Like Three Houses at the Game Awards even won like best fan voted game or whatever they call it, like player's choice or something, like the Game Awards 2019. Like the what's the actual award it won? Game of the Year, blah blah blah, best narrative, best performance. Let's see here. Best strategy game was Fire Emblem Three Houses of that year. And Player's Voice Award was 100% fan voted award with 24 games, was Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it beat Smash Ultimate. I mean, Smash Ultimate was part of it beat like yeah, Three Houses won the like Player's Voice Award. It beat Smash Ultimate, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Death Stranding. What were all the nominations for this? Let's see here. I want to see here. Blah blah blah. When voted December 19th. Just could not tell you what all the game. I can't remember, but I voted for Three Houses. But yeah, Three Houses, like, here we go. Let's switch over the webpage here. Let's go to video games. Like, oh, here we go. Player's Voice, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and Best Strategy Game, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Luigi's Mansion 3. Actually, was it the only game to win, like, 2 award? No. It was one of 2 games. I didn't talk. I did not say your name. Disco Elysium. Sub 1. Death Stranding won 2 awards. Forgot Death Stranding came out in 2019 as well. Disco Elysium won 3 awards. I mean, it's also Disco Elysium is also like one of the highest rated games. But yeah, Death Stranding like had 10 nominations. Emblem Three Houses had 2 nominations and won both of them. Like, yeah, like Nintendo won 4 like publisher awards. Yeah, like that's pretty big that Three Houses got 2 awards. Mind you, like this is like one of the few Nintendo games that like have won an award outside of Best Family Game, because Best Family Game almost always goes to Nintendo. So like outside of the Best Family Game, this is like one of like the very few like times Nintendo has ever won an award outside of the Best Family Game category. And it won 2 awards. Specifically the Player's Voiced Award is actually really impressive. Because it began with 24 games and 3 houses ended up winning it. With 45% of the vote. Which is impressive. 3 houses was that big of a game that like it won the like 100% fan vote award. Especially when it was competing with stuff like Disco Elysium that year. And Disco Elysium, like, is very high on the Metacritic board. Like, Metacritic... I don't know, I'm not really spelling. We go to, like, the games of all time. I believe, like, right here at Disco Elysium, the final cut, is actually in the top 10 games on Metacritic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm trying not to count, like, obviously, like, the same game, but on different platforms. So it's number 9 on the best rated games on Metacritic. Which is honestly very impressive for Disco Elysium. This is the director's cut, but still it did really good. And so good job for Fire Emblem. Good job for Fire Emblem. Great game. She would recommend to everyone. So that was so I really do enjoy it. There's a lot there's so much like stuff like even to this day that I don't know about Three Houses that are just like learning. And Engage may have sold a lot, but it just honestly didn't have the lasting appeal that Three Houses did. Because honestly, like, even on Twitter, like, I'm just not seeing, like, Engage be it, like, as remembered as much as, like, Three Houses. And Engage also kind of fell off a lot faster than Three Houses. So. Alright. Moving off of Fire Emblem, I have been watching King of the Hill lately. It's, King of the Hill, like, you've probably heard of it. It's, you may or may not have heard of it. It's, like, it's like it's part of, like, adult animation. Let's see. I was watching it during my senior year of high school and ended up watching, I believe, like the first 5 or 6 seasons, then stopped. But then I've recently, like last week or this week, no, last week, on like Friday, I picked it up again and just decided, and then just ended up binge watching pretty much the rest of the series. I'm already on like season 13, but I've just been watching it and I'm pretty much done with it. But definitely like really great series. And there's a revival coming soon that I'm really hyped about. Yep. Rival on Hulu is announced on January 31st. All an unknown if Toby Huss will return. Say new will also have a time jump taking place after the years where Bobby is older. Like, alright, so obviously, like, the new King of the Hill is supposed to be a time skip. So that's cool. Time skips are cool. I think one of the best ways it was utilized was with the iCarly series, which I do want to watch. The new iCarly series, but definitely if you want to like the revival seems to be that it'll be like having like a time skip. And Brittany Murphy and shoot, who's the voice of Lucky? But Lucky's voice actor and Luann's voice actor both passed away. And since those characters kind of like started their own life, and like I think the best way to deal with a King of the Hill revival that is a time skip is, since Luann and her husband Lucky's voice actor had passed away, I think the best way to handle it is to write them out of the show. Because no matter what you do, replacing both voice actors will not go over well with the audience. So I think the best way to do it is to write them out of the show. Like, they could have moved, they could actually be dead. You need to write them out of the show, and even if you want, you could like, if you want, like, you can like say like they passed away or something, and just like have the kid live with the Hills or something. Have their kid live with the Hills, and like, and that's if because then that would also have like a new character or something that like revivals love to add and such. So we'll see. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, Mike Judge, revival series of Beavis and Butthead ran over really well. So see, Mike Judge's other series, King of the Hill, will hopefully come back with a really good way. But yeah, King of the Hill is honestly like a really good series. It's funny and like it's adult, but like it's probably the most tame like adult animation series out there. Like it's just like it's very tame compared to what you usually think of like adult animation. Like when you think of adult animation, you think of like Family Guy and like The Simpsons and like South Park. King of the Hill is like a lot more tame. It also is just like a more realistic approach to its humor. Like it tries to just like be like a more down to earth, like realistic setting for its characters. It's supposed to be more like a sitcom. It's like more just like a regular sitcom than like more so like a regular just like sitcom that just happens to be an animation. Um it does get like every once in a while it does do something cool with the animation, like the very like of the very few like dream sequences it plays with the animation, but like most of the time it's just pretty down to earth. Um all really like good. Just follows Hank Hill and his family just kind of like living in Texas and being a more conservative family. Um and that's kind of like the like center of like the whole story is like that's pretty much like the entire like plot of the series is following like Hank Hill, who's a more is like more conservative, but like they're also like willing to like call out some like obvious like bullshit conservative ideals and stuff as well in the show. Like one of the episodes in the first season, like Hank Hill like straight up says like guns are dangerous and stuff. Like he's like definitely like, you know, likes to go hunting and stuff, but also like says like you don't need a gun to defend yourself at home. Instead, you could just use them for like, you know, hunting or like for sport. Like you don't need to like if you want you can use them for hunting or like, you know, um target shooting and stuff like that. You don't really need them to like protect yourself and stuff. Like it's like it goes over a lot of like conservative ideals in the show, so but it isn't afraid to call out some stupid ideals that the conservative side has. But it's also just really funny. It's known for just being funny and also heartwarming. So, great series. Would recommend to just check it out cuz like it's funny and also has its heartwarming like moments. Like one of my favorite episodes is let's see here. One of my favorite episodes is when the conspiracy theorist Dale Gribble ends up becoming like pro-American government cuz like normally he's all about these conspiracy theories and stuff, but like he like is start like reading like the he starts reading about the governor's report about or something about like the JFK assassination and it's like ends up like reading about it like something that he's always said that the government is covering up and stuff, but like reads about it and he's like, wait a second, the government was right. Like it ends up just being really funny seeing him just go from a conspiracy theorist to like being like pro government, and like it's just really good. Like let me see if I can find the clip real quick. But that's one of my favorite episodes. Is that let's see here, King of the Hill, Dale goes pro government. What is that episode? It's Dale to the Chief. It's like a don't remember episode names because they don't have title cards during the episodes. Let's see here if I can just find a clip. Do boop. Let's just go to YouTube here. But yeah, like, it's just a really funny episode that I quite enjoy. Um, here we go, here we go, here we go. Let's see here. I think I should be fine for showing just a 1 minute clip, but whatever. YouTube, suck my ass. Hold on, let's make sure it's, like, playing audio here. I think you guys can hear it. Oh, no you can't. Why can't you? Hold on. Let's go to, like... I think it's this speaker.
I figure if the government was right about Kennedy, they must be right about everything. Look at this. Government warning. Cigarettes cause cancer. Only a true friend tells you the stuff you don't want to hear.
I could have told you that, Dale.
But you didn't, did you?
Shame on you, Hank.
The government has always been there for me, and now it's time for me to be there for it. Hey, who wants to go down to the U.S. Post Office and tell them what a good job they're doing?
Well, why don't we go down there and find out what happened to my birth certificate? I sent it registered mail, and the Department of Public Safety still hasn't gotten it, and the post office doesn't know where it is.
You should be happy you live in a country that even has a post office. Show some gratitude.
And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
It's just really funny, like, the whole, like, it's just kind of funny, but, like, yeah, like, this is actually kind of just explains it. Someone should explain to him that loving your country doesn't mean blindly trusting your government. Like, that's basically the best way to put that episode, is that he just goes from, like, being a conspiracy theorist to the opposite extreme of just blindly trusting his government. Like, it's just really funny. Like, that's honestly a really good episode. Dale also almost never puts his real name or anything, so when he's finally filling out his tax forms for the first time in his life, he actually uses his real name for once. So, it's really just funny. The episode involves, like, Hank obviously being proud to be an American citizen, but he also is willing to, you know, call out their bullshit when he sees it. Like in this episode, he has a mess up on his license. He accidentally mark it female on his license. This actually happened to me in a very similar scenario. When I got my passport, it was marked female instead of male. So I've literally been there, done that with Hank Hill. So Hank ends up obviously going to the DMV to try and get them to fix it, and tries to start filling out the proper forms and everything, but just gets tired of all the bureaucracy and shit that they have to go through to try and get him to change, like, his license back, and, like, it just doesn't work. Like, no matter what he does, they always just fill him with more paperwork to fill out, or more stupid requirements and stuff. Like, literally, I've been there. Like, they needed a copy of, like, my birth certificate and stuff, like, to change it and stuff, which they didn't need when I got my license. When I got my passport, they needed, like, all sorts of stuff. Like, they needed, like, it was so dumb. They needed, like, a copy of my birth certificate, and me to fill out, like, this entire, like, form, and then it took, like, 3 months, longer than it took to get my passport, for them to fix it. And it was just kind of, like, a lot of bullshit. So, like, I know exactly where Hank has been in this episode. But, yeah, meanwhile, Dale ends up, like, becoming like the biggest simp for the United States ever, and blindly just trusting his government until like the very end, like he ends up just like going full Karen at the very end. Let's see if I can just find a clip of the end episode. So yeah, here we go. This is the end of the episode where Dale just finally like goes off at the DMV because of what they were doing to Hank.
All right, here it is. I have tried to be patient with you, but I've had enough. My name is Hank Hill, and I am a man. You are going to change my license to reflect that, or else.
Is that a threat?
If it has to be.
Excuse me!
Oh yeah.
Now, Dale.
I am Dale Gribble, American citizen, and I demand that you help my disturbed friend here.
I'm sorry, sir, but the state requires...
Listen! I've never been able to say this in my whole life, but as of 2 p.m. yesterday, I am a taxpayer, and I demand $36 worth of service.
Sir, if you...
I know the chain of command, starting with your supervisor, Franklin Thomas, all the way up to the underintendent of transportation, Edward Dibble, whose daughters, Pat and Ellie, played Ladybug soccer with the daughters of the President of the United States. And I'm not afraid to make some phone calls. I'm your worst nightmare. I have a 3-line phone and nothing at all to do with my time.
Ain't that the truth? But yeah.
Here's your interim driver's license, Mr. Hill. Please confirm the information is correct and sign on the line.
Like, then that's just like the end of the episode. And later, there's a teeny bit more where they have to get back to the status quo, where like Dale it's like, wait a second, the American government was so perfect. Why did they mess up on your driver's license? And then it just ends on that, where he just like he says like, I have to think on that, basically to get back to the status quo of Dale being a conspiracy theorist, like anti-government, like conspiracy theorist. But honestly, like, it's a really funny episode, and it just also goes over like something that probably a lot of like people have been through, like having like a problem that needs to be solved by the government, like, you know, like they messed up your tax forms, they like messed up on like your driver's license, or in my case my passport, and then you have to go through the entire bureaucracy process to get it fixed, and it's just like such a headache and just makes you get frustrated. But at the very end there, Dale going like full Karen is just really funny. That's a great episode. Really like that one. Yeah, I've been watching all of it, and I'm pretty much like almost finished. But like, really good series. Would recommend watching because it's just funny. Just really good. My favorite episode is the season 8 finale. No, is it the season 8 finale? No. Oh, nope, the season 8 21st episode, right before the finale. The Redneck on Rainy Street is really just like my favorite episode. It doesn't even star Hank in it. The main episode is focused on his neighbor, his Laotian neighbor, Khan, from Laos, originally from Laos. But yeah. Basically, the episode involves Khan trying to get his daughter into college, but then can't. So then he just gives up. He literally just gives up and goes like full redneck. Like normally like the show treats like rednecks as like obviously like none of the main cast are rednecks. They're all like just like normal, like like citizens, but like multiple times throughout the series, you always hear Hank say like, "I ain't no redneck." Like obviously, like being a redneck's like a bad thing. Like you don't like even for like Hank Hill like for like people who've probably seen clips of the show or like maybe just like look at the show or something will probably say, oh, like this show was like has a bunch of rednecks in it, but like this show like the characters in the show like Hank Hill would obviously like make fun of like show like shows like Duck Dynasty and stuff. Like obviously Duck Dynasty has a bunch of rednecks that do a bunch of stupid stuff in it, but like in this show like Hank would actually like make fun of the like the Duck Dynasty members for being too stupid. But like Hank Hill is like obviously like yeah, I ain't no redneck. And like a running like thing in the show is like Khan always calling the main cast, the boys, rednecks. So him just finally just like giving up and just quitting his job and becoming like full on redneck. Like he quits his job, even like starts like trashing his yard, putting like stops taking care of his yard, stops doing everything. Starts like like not working, barely like making any money to live. So he just starts out to like doing stupid things like cat fisting, where he just gets a bunch of like meat or something, gets a bunch of like stuff on his fist and then just punches catfish like underwater to catch food, eats like roadkill and stuff like that. Like he's like, and then like he's like he's about to lose his house because like he can't afford the house anymore, and like ends up selling his car and then ends up selling his car to get like a trashy car and stuff, and like goes full on like he just like loses himself. But at the end, like Hank ends up like convincing Khan that he shouldn't just give up, like and just like that shouldn't like teach his daughter like this, like shouldn't teach his daughter just to give up, instead like get back to like just like you shouldn't just give up and like still go on it, still like yeah, it's like stupid that your boss was that mean and stuff, but like you shouldn't just give up. So like honestly like really just heartwarming episode and has some really funny moments as well. Good episode. um yeah, there's a lot of like yeah, the show's just really good. Yeah, there's a lot of episodes too. The final seasons obviously are a bit slower because, well, I mean, if you've been running for 13 seasons for like more than 10 years, for a show that ran for like 13 years, obviously it lost its steam by the end of it. So, but yep, good, good series. Would recommend. That's what I've been watching. Um, just really funny. Um, probably like my favorite like adult animated series. Everyone kind of has their own favorite like adult Western animated series, like stuff like like Family Guy, South Park, or like The Simpsons or Futurama. Mine probably has to be King of the Hill. I've watched most of Futurama and really like Futurama, but I still think that like King of the Hill is like my favorite. Great series. Would recommend. So that's what I've been doing this week. We've almost reached the hour mark. Actually, we're over the hour mark now, but honestly, what else can I talk about that happened this week? Oh, I went to Dave and Buster's. Dave and Buster's. I went to Dave and Buster's for the first time, and it was all right. Never been an arcade type of person, so it was fun to hang out with friends and go to Dave and Buster's. Um, Two of my friends spent like $100+ there, and I ended up spending zero. Where like I took their card for like I borrowed their card for like one or two games, and then just stopped, and that was it. We were there for like 3 hours, and we're like, yeah. And then we went to like and then we were looking at the food, and then they were like charging like $20+ for food that was going to be probably subpar, which we were like, nah. We should have what we should have done, and the best use of your points there is to buy food, because you can use your points to buy food, which we should have done instead of just using the points for like the kind of garbage stuff at the prize center, because honestly it is just a lot of garbage. But we should have used it for food, because that is the best use of your points. It's for the food. But instead we just went to Outback. Which, Outback is good. Had good food there at Outback. Even though Outback is probably just as expensive as Dave and Buster's, if not more. But at least the food was good instead of just kind of okay. Because that's kind of like the food that they give you at Dave and Buster's. It's just kind of okay food. So we had that. What did we have? What did we do before? Oh yeah, we even got the new. Also on that trip, we also got the Pikmin tea or slushy from Kung Fu Tea. Honestly, I prefer my local milk tea place over the like franchised Kung Fu Tea. I think it tastes better than the Kung Fu Tea. So, also I learned that like milk tea, like milk bubble tea and stuff has been going on for like since 2010, but really started to pop off lately instead. Just like, I don't know what happened there. Apparently it's like been a thing for like quite a while, but like recently just popped off this year in popularity. So, hmm. So there's that. Um, Anything else that went on this week or last week? I don't think there's been anything else going on in the past week. I don't think there was anything else going on. Yeah, the Pokemon Presents is actually going to be in 4 days. Well, at the time of the stream, August 4th. It'll be on Tuesday, August 8th. So that's nice. And the Pokemon... The only thing I hope in the Pokemon Presents is that nothing made by Game Freak is announced there. For the love of Christ, Game Freak, just take a damn break and just not do anything. Like, please make a good game that actually functions. Scarlet and Violet is a good game, but it's still annoying when the game doesn't actually function. And there's like, I just wish that they would just not, like, just take a break and make, like, an act, and just, like, wait before making a new Pokemon game. Like, for Christ's sakes. But, yeah, I think that's it. not much else to talk about what happened this week. So, yeah. Well, I hope you guys had fun joining me here for this hour. If you want, you can join me live, usually like sometime at night, sometime at Friday night, usually like anywhere between, I don't know, like anywhere between 9 and 11. I usually start these. So, you can join back anywhere between 9 and 11, Fridays. And you can like the video. I'd really appreciate that. It helps in the algorithm bullshit. You can subscribe so you can get notifications when the stream goes up. And when other stuff I post, which is usually like just reactions to stuff, because that's all I ever really do anymore, is just like record my reaction to like Nintendo Directs and like the big E3 presentations. Well, it's not E3 anymore, but you know what? It's like Summer Games Fest. And that's pretty much what I do on my channel, so you can subscribe to get notified when those videos go up. And if you want, I got my PayPal link down there to like donate money, or if you want, if you just enjoy me talking for some reason. Really wouldn't encourage it. You'd probably you have better use for your money, like, I don't know, like paying off bills, or like even just like burning money is probably a better use, not gonna lie. But yeah, thank you for joining me this week, and you have a nice day. Good night.